The mere mention of Mexican cuisine brings to mind vivid images of sizzling fajitas, tantalizing tacos, and zesty guacamole. It's no secret that Mexican food has taken the world by storm with its bold flavors and diverse ingredients. But did you know that there are some so-called Mexican dishes out there that no one in Mexico actually eats? Yes, you heard it. Let's get right into it. Number 1. Hard-shell tacos. While it's become a popular fixture in Tex-Mex and Americanized Mexican cuisine, the hard-shell taco is rare in Mexico. In fact, you might struggle to find it in most Mexican households or street food stalls. So how did the hard-shell taco come to be associated with Mexican cuisine outside of Mexico? Its origins can be traced back to Mexican immigrants living in the United States. As they adapted to their new surroundings, they encountered a scarcity of traditional ingredients like soft corn tortillas. To satisfy their taco cravings, they turned to the available resources and began using crispy, pre-formed tortilla shells. These hard-shell tacos gained popularity and eventually became synonymous with Mexican food in certain regions. However, it's important to note that they represent an adaptation of Mexican cuisine rather than a true reflection of its traditional roots. So, why the preference for soft tortillas in Mexico? Well, they offer several advantages. Firstly, the soft tortillas allow the flavors of the fillings to shine through without the distraction of a crunchy shell. Each ingredient melds together, creating a cohesive and balanced taco experience. Secondly, soft tortillas are more forgiving, ensuring that every bite is a delight and not a struggle to keep the taco intact. But let's be honest, the hard-shell taco can really be a messy affair. With each bite, you risk shattering the shell into pieces, leaving you with a taco salad in your hands instead of a neatly wrapped delight melting into your mouth. Number 2. Chimichanga. The chimichanga is essentially a burrito that takes a detour through the deep fryer, resulting in a crispy exterior and a warm, flavorful interior. However, despite its popularity in certain parts of the world, you won't find many Mexicans devouring this deep-fried creation. The origins of the chimichanga are shrouded in mystery, with different stories claiming its invention in either Arizona or Sonora, Mexico. One of the legends suggests that a cook accidentally dropped a burrito into a vat of hot oil, exclaiming "Chimichanga!" and thus a new dish was born. Although it's widely believed to have stemmed from American origins, the name chimichanga itself suggests a connection to Mexico. The word chimichanga is believed to be derived from the Mexican Spanish term chamuscada, which means scorched or lightly toasted. Still, while this dish may have gained a dedicated following, it's not a dish you'll find on every Mexican street corner. In Mexico, burritos are typically made with soft, pliable flour tortillas and filled with an array of delicious ingredients like slow-cooked meats, beans, rice, and vibrant salsas. So if you find yourself in Mexico and yearning for a burrito, don't expect to encounter a chimichanga on the menu. But don't get it wrong, chimichanga's popularity is not unwarranted. It's carved out its own niche in Tex-Mex cuisine, delighting countless taste buds with its crunchy exterior and savory fillings. It's become a beloved guilty pleasure for many, with variations ranging from beef and cheese to shredded chicken and beans. So I don't see why this dish shouldn't be top on your foods to try list. Number 3. Fajitas. Tender strips of meat, grilled vegetables, and a medley of flavors all wrapped up in a warm tortilla. What's not to love? But here's a surprising twist. Fajitas, despite their name and popularity, are not actually a traditional Mexican dish. So how did this dish come to be? To understand the origin of fajitas, we need to delve into the history of Mexican cattle ranches. Back in the day, Mexican cowboys were often given the less desirable cuts of meat, such as the tough and chewy skirt steak. To make it more palatable, they would marinate and grill the meat, which created a flavorful and tender edible. Fast forward to the 20th century, when Mexican farm workers migrated to Texas. These skilled ranch hands brought with them their cooking techniques, including the marinated grilled meat. However, it wasn't until the 1980s that fajitas gained widespread popularity in the United States, thanks to the efforts of restaurateurs who recognized the delicious potential of this humble dish. Today, you can find fajitas gracing the menus of countless Mexican and American restaurants, with various protein options such as chicken, shrimp, and even vegetarian alternatives. The sizzle of the cast iron skillet and the tantalizing aroma that fills the air when a plate of fajitas arrives at your table is a sensory experience that has captivated food enthusiasts for decades. Number 4. Chili con carne. Chili with meat. That's the translation, but don't be fooled. Although you might assume it's a classic Mexican creation, chili con carne is actually 100% fugazi. This hearty stew, made with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, spices, chili peppers, sour cream, and cheese, was born in the kitchens of Texan settlers. But let's talk authenticity. Is chili con carne an authentic Mexican dish? Creo que no. The origins of chili con carne can be traced back again to the frontier days of the American Southwest, where Mexican and Texan culinary influences blended together. The dish gained popularity as a simple and filling meal among cowboys and settlers, eventually becoming a staple in American cuisine. In Mexico, chili peppers are a fundamental ingredient in numerous dishes, from sauces like mole to salsas and stews. However, the concept of combining chili peppers with beans and meat to create a chili stew is not a typical part of Mexican culinary tradition. Instead, Mexican cuisine tends to focus on utilizing chili peppers as a flavor-enhancing component, rather than the main attraction. So what sets chili con carne apart from traditional Mexican chili-based dishes? Firstly, the addition of beans is a hallmark of chili con carne. While beans are certainly used in Mexican cooking, they're often prepared separately or incorporated into different dishes, like frijoles refritos, rather than combined with chili as the main event. Secondly, the use of ground beef as the primary meat component is another departure from Mexican culinary traditions, where other meats like shredded or cubed beef, chicken, or pork take center stage. However, if you're seeking a more authentically Mexican alternative, allow me to introduce you to rebocado, a mouth-watering meaty stew that features tender pork, chilies, and peppery purslane. It's often enjoyed wrapped in warm tortillas, adding an extra layer of comfort and satisfaction to each bite. Number 5. Taco salad. Picture this: a giant tortilla bowl filled to the brim with vibrant greens, juicy tomatoes, creamy guacamole, tangy salsa, and a generous helping of seasoned ground beef. It's a hearty and satisfying meal that combines the crunchy freshness of a salad with the bold flavors of Mexican cuisine. But if you were to wander the streets of Mexico in search of a taco salad, you might find yourself scratching your head. In Mexico, tacos are enjoyed in their original form, a soft or crispy tortilla wrapped around a flavorful filling. So the idea of crumbling up those delicious taco shells and scattering them over a bed of lettuce might raise some eyebrows among Mexicans. It's like taking a burst of juicy flavors and tossing them into a lettuce wrap. Now, I don't mean to sound too critical. After all, food is all about personal preference and experimentation. But let's dive deeper into the origins of the taco salad. It's believed to have emerged in the United States, particularly in the southwestern states with a strong Mexican influence. The idea was to take the components of a taco, the seasoned meat, cheese, salsa, and sour cream, and place them atop a bed of lettuce to create a more substantial meal. But here's the thing. In Mexico, salads are usually served as a separate course or as a side dish. They consist of fresh vegetables like tomatoes, avocados, radishes, and cucumbers, often dressed with lime juice or a light vinaigrette. They're meant to complement the meal rather than serve as the foundation for it. So while the taco salad might not be a traditional Mexican dish, it has undoubtedly carved out its own place in the culinary landscape. We've taken a delightful journey through 5 Mexican dishes that may surprise you with their absence in Mexico. While some dishes may have evolved and adapted outside of Mexico, they showcase the influence of Mexican flavors and ingredients on global cuisine. Also, it's always fun to explore the cultural interpretations and see where the lines blur. So the next time you're craving Mexican food, seek out the authentic dishes that Mexico has to offer and let your taste buds be transported to the vibrant streets and markets of the incredible country. Buen provecho!